Thank you very much for this. So at this time, I'll invite Laurent CYPRIA to make his opening comments on the topic. And Laurent, while you're at it, I want you to identify some of the pressing challenges, really, that young people have been facing, centered around this discussion about life on Earth as it relates to climate change. And we are indeed the movers and shakers as it relates to climate change, as well as ensuring that we continue to save our forests and ensure that life on Earth for us as young people will change as we know it once we continue to have our voices be heard. I mean, Ferguson said it best that sometimes our voices are not necessarily being heard when we are actually speaking. So at this time, I invite you, Lawrence, to make your opening comments and, of course, jump right into the discussion as it pertains to some of the pressing challenges affecting young people as it relates to Sustainable Development Goal 15 and, of course, following further Sustainable Development Goal 13. Laura?
Hello, do you hear me well?
Yes, I can. Welcome.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for having me this evening. Yes, definitely the topic is major, whether in Martinique and all over the Caribbean and the youth in general. We share that feeling that my previous fellows has parted with us this evening. Martinique, as you know, is definitely willing to be in the Caribbean as it should, which means that we believe in networking in every aspect, being together, being a common a community of interest for the youth is definitely the key things for our action. I believe in cooperation. And our organization believes in cooperation, that working together, having a strong common voice is the best way for us to push forward our agendas. In terms of climate change, this is a situation that we face like every island and every communities. We're impacted by that. It's now and more than ever the day to see and demonstrate that we can input forward a new change, a new way of seeing things. I'm lucky enough to be actually a consultant for many startups organizations in Martinique. We're quite vibrant in those matters, and we are seeing highly educated young people going back to the ground, but going back to agriculture, and to provide new services, new researches, new way of actually growing our land, growing our food, growing our knowledge of how to improve the agriculture. It's not time to say, properly speaking, it's time to demonstrate by action that are scalable, that are visible, that are commonly known between one another. And this is the main point where I'm going. Every time that we are developing research, developing experiences, making cutting edge evolution on the ground basis of what we stand for, I'm always concerned that those information are not properly shared. The networks and the development of social networks has enabled us to be more visible somehow, but we remain in a kind of silo where from the people in need, those information are not shared. Recently, I've been very impressed by research done in Ireland, where they developed a technology to transform plastic bags that are not generally recyclable into diesel fuel. So those breaking and cutting edge technology is now available to solve the problems of small plastics and plastic bags that are very, very, very hard to recycle this far. So we're believing in the intelligence of the people. We believe that by sharing intelligence, that we will go further and we will create a more sustainable world. But more than working in silo, becoming really cooperative, setting up a real space of dialogue when we can really put what we call a bocantage in Martinique and Creole, where we can actually gather minds and spirit in the idea of creating new solutions that are properly tailored for us, is definitely what we need to at least speak of the same voice in all the Caribbean and be heard. Or if we cannot be heard, then set an example at a small scale and hope that this scaling method will be actually implemented at high level with the politicians. We believe in Martinique that this is the step that we need to take to be properly heard. And we believe that definitely this could be the solution that we all need, because in the Caribbean we must, and it has many situations that we've been facing, that we will face it better as a family. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lawrence. And I want to bring Fabian into this conversation about engaging young people. However, I want to invite those who are here with us. I can imagine you in your living room, in your study, listening to these vibrant speakers, and you have a lot of points as it relates to SDG Goal 15 and Goal 13. Climate change has been around us, and some of the points that has been raised in terms of challenging affecting young people is the voice, the lack of listening to the voice, the educational aspect of these topics, funding towards the advocacy of these topics, also the connectivity issues as it pertains to rural and urban settlements and young people in these areas, also youth interest and how best create people at this time, lack of sharing information, as my brother from Martinique would have just mentioned, and also these new solutions that has been identified. So let's join the conversation as we discuss. But I wanted to take my final question to you, Lauren, in terms of what should be the next step for us in the region as it pertains to our government, as well as those that impact on policy making, and not just looking at policy, but looking at policy implementations after this consultation is done. What next? What should be that one next step that should be done having pertains to life on Earth, Sustainable Development Goal 15, and actually achieving, carrying out those goals? What next should be done? Over to you, Laura.
Thank you very much. Just before answering this answer, I want to show all my gratitude for my fellow panelists to the support of the very small ideas that Martinique is trying to implement and trying to actually further in all the organizations we're taking a part of. It's very important for us, for our voice to be heard, and for our fellow panelists to acknowledge that we are force of proposition in this discussion we're having right now. We believe in baby steps, not even small steps. We really believe in baby steps. In several other occasions, I had the opportunity to present a very, very simple idea that's been proposed to ECOSOC, is just transfer the information about the doctorate thesis and all the studies that are made at university level between us, between the French-speaking universities, between the English-speaking universities, between the Dutch-speaking universities, and etc., to make sure that just to be on the same line and be on the cutting edge steps of what are you concerned, such as how stop working in silo. This could be a very important concentration of information that will lead us forward. That would be a step that could definitely achieve what is very simple and very obvious for us, that we are unfortunately facing the same hazards, we are facing the same difficulties, we are facing the same economic constraints, we are facing the same lack of financing. Those elements we've done already the conscious and obvious constatation of the situation. Now it's time to back up and to have this moment of thinking together. And for that, we need to transfer a solid and organized bridge of information between our universities, our theses, our doctors, and be sure that when we think about Caribbean, the English-speaking countries do not think about English-speaking countries on their behalf. French-speaking territories are not thinking on their behalf, but we definitely have a transfer and a solidified international organization transfer of information. I strongly believe that an organization such as CRYC or such as the ECLAC or the CARICOM could definitely be a place where we can have a simple transfer of information to let everyone know what we are studying, what improvement have we made for from the theoretical to the practical. And that will be a very baby step, not too complicated, but definitely that could make a big change. Further than that, I'm very happy that I've been a speaker to the European Parliament lately. This year, this 2022, is definitely is dedicated to be the year of the youth in Europe. But to work with Europe is not only work with European countries, is working as well in a cooperative understanding of our countries in the area. There is a huge amount of funding available now for the Caribbean, for Central America in regards to working with French territories or European territories. This is definitely, I understand now that this is definitely a kind of financing that is pretty important, but is not looked at traditionally by our neighbors, our country neighbors. They are facing in silo information for the World Bank, from the UN, or from the CDBs and NDBs for development banks, but they are not looking for those kind of financing because they believe that this is especially for European countries. I'm advocating to tell those countries that it is not, and that a big amount of spending is of funding is available right now to be taken and to be implemented into real actions that goes further than Erasmus. We need, at last, I want to emphasize this as well, to push up our government to stop to put an end as radical at the beginning when it was to COVID restrictions. Of course, it was a necessity to have a key point and to enforce the law for saving the population and saving all the people that are concerned by this pandemic. But we believe that, and there are indicators that it's time to stop this madness before it's too late. And the thing is that the same legislation that has been taken so rapidly to react to the pandemic must now be rethought, re-put onto the table, and to say, are we ready to actually take a new step and leave that pandemic behind to build up a new solution? We're not advocating for pushing silly measures, but we definitely believe that it's time now to see a new day, and to be the voice to say that, okay, the situation is now to be resilient, and we are very resilient as Caribbean people. This is a statement that must be pushed forward, and that could be pushed forward by every youth organization in their country regarding their representatives and delegates, and that can lead us to actually bring all the communities behind their youth to actually move forward, be resilient, and see a new world coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laurent. Life, Earth, and fellow young people, we are at the end of the session. And in 30 seconds or less, I'll go straight over to you, Fabian. Life on Earth, Caribbean Youth Environmental Action. What are your last words in 30 seconds? Fabian?
Yes. So, sorry, Shane, I miss this one. My connection is not that good, unfortunately. Can you repeat, please?
Oh, so your last words in 30 seconds for us on this session.
Now, I want to thank all panelists and yourself for this. My key message is to get to action, and don't hesitate to find smart ways to make money out of restoring the ecosystem. There's a lot of ideas around there. Invest in that, and that will give you the voice as well to be heard by the others. And supporting all other great ideas, not only building partnership, building coalitions, organized around targeted objectives, moving together, building, balance of powers with decision makers. Trade. Don't be afraid of institutions, of political leaders, etc. You can be much more vocal than what you think.
Thank you very much. And at this time, I take us over to Dominica Ferguson. What is your final 30 seconds or your final advice for us here this evening? Ferguson?
Thanks, Shane. I have 3 words, which is let us rebuild together, let us unite for the goals, and let us be resilient together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ferguson, representing the Kalinago Inspirators Youth Group. And of course, the vibrant Afia Richardson from Guyana. Afia, what is your final 30-second message to us here this evening?
My final message, youth, we're sources of innovation, we're sources of creativity, and we are concerned about our future. We're ready to take action, and it's time for leaders to step up and support us, and we need to continue pushing for it, and we need to continue sharing our ideas. But we do need the support from leaders. We do need support from citizens to respect our ideas, allow our voices to have that impact and not to fall on deaf ears. So it's just inclusion, partnerships, support for the work that we do.
Thank you very much, Afia Richardson. And of course, from Martinique, I would ask you, Laurent, to give us your 30 seconds or less. What is your final as we discuss this integral topic of life on Earth? Laurent?
My final statement will be to it's time for our leaders to stop working in silo. It's time to be a real family. It's now time to share the knowledge, share the information, and share the results between one another. And when we will do that, we will share the success as well.
Thank you very much.